Alright guys, so in the last video I kind of went over some of the stuff that I carry in my vehicle, and what I thought I would do is also do a video on my wife's vehicle as well. I've done a previous one. This is basically an update to that, but that was probably 2 years ago, so it's overdue. And just go over each of the bags. You can kind of see them behind me here, what's in them, what she uses them for, coming right at you. Okay, so I thought I would start with the things that she's carrying to work every single day, and then kind of work through the bags as we go. So this is her lunch bag. This is what she brings her lunch into work in. This was a free giveaway. I don't remember what it was. I think I got it on a tray through one of the groups. But pretty straightforward size-wise. I mean, it's about the length of a tool bag, but it's only about half the height. I mean, it fits her lunch perfectly. And then she has, patches on it. And it's got handles, so not lined or anything like that. It's just a simple bag. Like I said, it's one of the free giveaways that they had, and I gave it to her because she really likes Raid. That's kind of her jam. This is laptop bag that John, I emailed John about this, ordered it, waited till it was made, and have been nothing but thrilled with it. On the front here, we added 2 small mesh pockets with PAL's backing. That way she can throw her phone or keys, whatever. There's change in this one, just whatever incidentals she has. In case you can't tell, she's a little crazy about Baby Yoda. So she's got her patches, and these are her patches. They're ones either I gave to her that she stole from me, one or the other. We added a Peltor wrap. This is another great use for the Peltor wraps. You can use this as a shoulder pad, and the nice thing is then the strap kind of slides through it, but it stays on your shoulder. So that's another great use for the Peltor wraps. If you haven't done that or don't know that, that's what that is for. So this is a laptop bag. She does not use it for a laptop. She uses it for all her stuff. And basically the way it opens, you have it's pretty neat. I don't think I've ever gone over this piece of gear before, but it is a really neat piece of gear. So basically what you have is your very front pocket is a pouch that you can throw items into. And then you have a Velcro keeper that holds that tight, and then you have Velcro fields here and here. This is part of the padding of it. This is basically the idea is if you were to put a laptop here, you would throw that over, and that kind of captures your laptop. That's kind of the idea behind it. And you have room. You could have a laptop, and you could also have a tablet. This is her bleed kit that she carries around, Recon Medical. This is one of their bleed kits they used to sell with a canvas bag with it. And again, then you have another field here, and again you have another. It's kind of just a mirror image of the other side. So that's the interior of it. So you have room that you really could carry more than you want to carry in the bag, which is usually the case for most of SOE's stuff. These are some of her papers from work, and a knife. This is one of those Evangro knives. Yeah, you're talking about them for the price. You can't beat it. D2 steel, although I don't think it's really well heat treated. I think it's $30 on Amazon. That's hers. I bought that for her so she would have a knife in her bag. And then when you come around to the back, you have a very large pouch sleeve back here, as you can see, and that is Velcro lined. And she has her PowerTac flashlight right here that I gave her, so she would have a functional flashlight on her all times. And then her knife usually goes right there. So this is her laptop bag. This is her thing. She likes Raid. That's kind of her jam. And this is what she basically carries to work, every single day. And is it you carrying a laptop? No, but like with most of SOE's things, there's a million different uses for the product. It works great as what it was intended for. John does an amazing job at designing a product for an intention and following through on it. So is it actually being used for what it was intended for? No, but it has a million different uses. You could easily use this as an EDC bag. You could easily use this as a gun bag. It would make a great pistol bag for the range because there's room in the middle. You could put ammo. Then you have the padded sleeves for your pistols. If you added some of the Velcro holsters to the inside, you could easily carry 4 pistols in this thing without a problem. So the uses are endless. And with the pals on the front, you have even more options. So that's her laptop bag. Okay, so this is the next bag that is in her car at all times. So this is an SOE active shooter bag. This is an older generation one that I got in a trade. The new ones are a little different. On the side, they actually have a D-ring instead of that sewn section. So the new ones have a little bit of a different design than the older style. But again, I got it in a trade, so I'm not going to complain. In any case, so the idea of having this in her car is she doesn't carry a rifle. Currently, she doesn't carry a pistol. She's not there yet, but I do. And the idea of this bag is that so I have a resupply with her. It's small, it's unobtrusive, it really doesn't get in her way, and it has some basic stuff in it so that I can have in her car what I may need depending on the situation. So I'm going to bring the camera in a little closer to get a better look at the bag so you can kind of see what's going on inside of this. Come right up. Okay, so here we go. This is the bag. You can kind of see the size. It's maybe 10 inches wide, fully packed. It's about 6 to 9 inches deep and maybe 10 high. In the front, you've got 3 dedicated mag sleeves. There's a modular version to this as well that kind of gives you the option of doing what you want to do. That's also something they make, but this has the 3 sleeves. Now, could you use this for other things? Yes. You could easily use one of their med tray pullouts if you didn't pack it too full. You could easily just shove items in here, phone, radio, whatever the case may be. But this is what I have, and there's 3 mag reloads on the front. On the back of it, we have a pouch. You can kind of see. This is kind of like the laptop bag. It has a Velcro field inside of here, 2 snaps to kind of hold it tight. You could easily put a pistol back here with a Velcro holster, or you could use a Kydex holster. You can actually use a Kydex holster, and if you have soft loops, you can wrap it around the strap for the Velcro holster, and you can easily draw a gun that way. So it's kind of like the laptop bag in that respect. You also have a carry handle right here. In here, I've got 2 pistol mags. I've got a flashlight, and this is an older Surefire, but works just fine. And I also have a multi-tool. So I have a multi-tool. It's in her vehicle, and it's not an expensive one. It's a Gerber, but it works. So that's what's in the back here. And I guess I'll pull out the mags from the front. That way you kind of get a look at everything that you can fit in this small bag, because it is not a big bag by any means, but it kind of fits everything that you might need. Here, I'll even do it nice and neat. That way it's, got to get the pictures for the gram. So that's basically what's in the outside portions of the bag. On the inside portion of the bag, I don't know how well you can see in there. I'll kind of fold these lips back so you can see a little bit better. But inside the bag, there's Velcro walls in front and back. So again, what I have done is I've put a mag holder. So I've got 3 more AR mags. So with this bag, I have a combat load in this small bag in her car. That's not in her way. That doesn't bother her too much. So there you go. I also have a small mesh pouch in here that has kind of I would say an IFAK Plus, I guess is what you would call it. And as you can tell, the Velcro for this stuff is very, very, very effective. So this is a small mesh pouch. This has an IFAK Plus in it. It also has a set of shears attached to it. And then I also, in here I have a basic rifle maintenance kit. I don't even remember what company it's from, but it's nice because it's small, it doesn't get in the way. It's got brushes, things like that. It's got the small aluminum guide rods you can put together for cleaning, but it's good for getting a case out of the gun. It also has oil, things like that. So that's everything that is in the bag. You can kind of see the inside of the bag better now. So this is the active shooter bag. This rides in her car at all times, and it doesn't get in her way, which is the main thing. Because let's face it, us guys can put too much shit in our own vehicles, let alone trying to shove it in your wife's. So if you keep it as minimal as possible, you have the basics of what you need, and it's going to be there. It's not going to be thrown into the garage because she's tired of moving it around. All right, so we're going to move on to the next bag. And this is her medical bag. I've gone through this thing, mine and hers, on multiple occasions in multiple other videos. Maybe I'll link that video below. But it's her vehicle med bag. Tourniquets on the front, both rats and windlass, and all the windlass are recons. Inside you've got all the stuff. Nothing surprising. You know, it's all the basic things that you need. So there's nothing really about this bag that is all that new. You've seen all this stuff. So I don't really think there's a need to go into this. It's already going to be a long video as it is. But there's her vehicle med bag. She does carry her EpiPen with her in the back because she does have a bee allergy. And in the back I also have boo-boo stuff and some basic first aid things. You know, for situations that don't require popping this bad boy open. So that is her vehicle med bag. On with the next one. So this is something relatively new. I did a video on this. This is her headrest. This goes on her headrest. There's a Velcro wrap that goes around her headrest. On the back here you have male Velcro, and it just basically sticks to the headrest. It has a handle in the back, and when you rip it open, that's what you got. This is relatively new, so I brought the camera in a little closer for this. Basic stuff. There's nothing crazy going on here. I've got some H bandages, some more tourniquets, and wound packing materials. So basic stuff. Excuse the motorcycle noise. It is what it is. Only the best production quality for my viewers. But in any case, it's basically two recon IFAKs that have been broken down, and I added the H bandages to it, and then gloves. So pretty straightforward. This is a supplemental. It's on the back of her headrest. Again, it's not in her way. It doesn't bother her, and that's that. So this is from LA Police Gear. If you search their large headrest medical bag, this is what'll pop up. It's a great value for what it is. There is a video about this. I'll link it below. And that's the next bag, and on to the next one. So this is another bag. This is not normally in her car. It doesn't always ride in her car. This is another supplemental medical bag. This is a little larger. I did a video on this as well. I got this off of an auction on eBay. It has not been fully loaded in any way, shape, or form. This is kind of where it's at. And to be honest, like, this is more, not that I guess trying it out is the wrong term. But the form factor, I'm not 100% on. I like the way it's organized. I'm not really sure what'll happen with it past what it's been doing, which is just riding around with her. But this was in her car today, so I figured I'd pull it out of there and show it to you guys. I don't know who the maker of this is, to be honest, because again, I got it off of a deal on eBay. It might be North American Rescue, I'm not sure. Could be Eagle, maybe. Here it is. It is made by Chinook. They make good stuff. It's a good quality bag. It's a good size. Not too big, not too small. But I thought I would throw it in there just so you could see it. Again, all this stuff is to try and spark some ideas in your head of what you can do with your stuff. Granted, I am way more medical oriented than maybe I need to be, but it is what it is. If I never have to use this stuff, it's still a good day. So that is the supplemental bag that's in her car for the time being, and then on to the next bag. All right, so this is an SOE boot bag that is absolutely jammed to the gills with stuff. This has basically all of the car stuff that she would need in it. And again, as you can tell, Raid is her jam. We've got in this tool bag light, I've got an air compressor that goes in her car. In this right here, this is a charging pack for your car. These things were on sale. It's not the brand that everyone pushes. I can't think of the name of the brand that everyone pushes, but these have worked fantastic. And I got them a really good deal on these, so I have one in each vehicle. That is a battery booster. I've got some of these in there. These are LED road flares, basically. They magnetize to your car, and that way, if you're in a wreck, you don't have to worry about burning road flares, which can be nasty, and they magnetize right to the side of the car. So that's what these are, and there's a couple of those in there. I also have just an old school pair of jumper cables in here. A rag, because, well, you should have a rag. Kind of self-explanatory. And this is an SOL Escape Bivy. This is basically in there just because if, God forbid, she was stuck in her car, like we just had that situation where people were freezing to death in their vehicle because they didn't have a basic blanket or sleeping bag or something. Well, if you live in Buffalo, New York, you should have those basic things in your car. We don't live in Buffalo, we live in Pennsylvania. It can still get cold. So this is kind of, it's a little bit, it's not Mylar, it's heavier than Mylar, but it has a Mylar interior, and the idea is if you were to slip into this, it'll kind of radiate your body heat back at you. Again, it's for like light, to save your life. This is not so you have a comfortable camp out, that's not the purpose of this. But it's a good thing to have, takes up almost no room, and it weighs nothing. So that is the boot bag that rides in her car. On to the next bag. So this is the last bag that is in my wife's car. It's another one of these tool bag lights. So we had an incident where my wife needed basic tools to change a battery in her car. She needed a new battery, and there were no basic tools in her vehicle. My ex kind of chided me a little bit for it, and at first I was kind of pissed off when she did it, but I think it's important for all of us to understand that, you know, we're not going to have things exactly as we should. Things aren't going to be perfect. There's going to be mistakes. There's going to be things that happen, and you can either decide to let it bother you, or you can decide to let it help you grow. She was completely correct. My wife didn't have a basic toolkit in her car, and at first it pissed me off and kind of hit my ego a little bit. But then I realized that she was right. So I fixed that shit. So this year, for Christmas, one of the exciting things my wife got was a toolkit. And I mean, is it like 100% complete? Probably not, but it has basic needs. We have a flashlight that's posable, and it's also magnetic, and it has a light bar and then an individual one there. We've got a couple pair of channel locks, three different sizes. The three different sizes of channel locks, they will pretty much take care of anything that you need to get done. Do I care for the Cobalt brand? Not particularly, but they're decent and they were priced really well. A small basic hammer. If you're going to buy a hammer for somebody, especially someone that's smaller than you, I think it's always better to get a small weight one. She wouldn't need anything bigger than this for anything with a vehicle, but it gives her the ability if she needs to use it, or if she has someone else that's trying to work on her car and they need to use it. Basic screwdriver, a couple of basic vice grips. Again, when you need a vice grip, you need a vice grip. A razor knife, three different sizes of open-ended adjustable wrenches, and also a needle nose vice grip as well. A pair of trauma shears, because if you need to cut something heavy, they work really well for it. And also a relatively complete socket set in this pocket here. And I mean, it's got all the basic metrics, all the basic standard sizes, and some bits. So this is kind of her complement of tool stuff that rides in her vehicle. And again, with this kind of stuff, like I said, you can either let it hit your ego and get pissed off about it, or you can learn from it. And I think learning from it is a valuable thing. I think if you miss the opportunity to do that, it's kind of a shame. So anyway, so that is the last bag that is in her car that rides with her every single day. So that's it, guys. This is all the stuff my wife carries with her every day in her vehicle. Does it seem like a lot? It is a lot. I could definitely pare down the medical for sure. Again, this last bag that I showed you at the medical isn't in her car all the time. It just was in there today, so I want it to be at least slightly realistic. This is the stuff I pulled out of her car today. But is it a lot of stuff? Yeah, it is. For sure, it's a lot of stuff. Does she need to have it in her car all the time? Probably not. She could probably ride for a year without having to touch any of these bags, except for the ones that she uses every day. I mean, God forbid I ever have to touch the active shooter bag. That would be a really, really shitty day. But the reality is that you're not preparing for the things that you know are going to happen. If you knew when your next gunfight was going to be, well, you'd be ready for that shit, right? You would be carrying a lot of mags. You'd be carrying a rifle, not a pistol. But that's not the way the world works. We don't find out ahead of time when our next horrible event's going to be. It just happens. That's the reality of life, is that you don't get forewarning of these things. Do you get forewarning of weather issues? Sure. Yeah. And my guess is that when she's riding around and when she knows it's going to be cold out, she's dressed accordingly. She has a jacket with her, gloves, hat, that kind of thing, right? But if you have this stuff that stays in your vehicle every day, it just becomes a part of your everyday. It's just there. I have slowly worked my wife into what I feel would be a comfortable amount of gear to have in her car. But it takes time and patience. Because if you just shove it on her, you're just going to piss her off. And she's going to look for reasons to leave it behind. So if you explain it to her, you take your time, you go with what she's willing to deal with and not try to just shove it down her throat, you'll have a much easier time of getting her to not think like you do, but at least understand your perspective. And you're much more likely to have her understand where you're coming from and see your point of view. And even if she doesn't agree with you, in seeing that point of view, I think you'll find that she will start to be better prepared. And that's what this is all about, is being prepared. I mean, this stuff here, this is every day. This is her laptop case and her lunchbox. Nothing really sexy about that at all. It's just a great piece of kit. And if you look around, you'll see that SOE, 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 SOE. There's a repetitive nature there. These aren't. But if SOE made a Velcro-backed headrest medical kit, it would be in her car. This stuff, I know, will hold up. It will hold up to the weight, it'll hold up to abuse, it'll hold up to all those things and still be usable. And that's why I buy their stuff. And they're great people. I believe in supporting good people. So that's it, guys. A longer video again, my apologies, but kind of hard to go through things without it being a longer video. And some people enjoy it. I know I do, but I know some of you maybe not. But hopefully you got something out of it. Hopefully you stuck through and saw something and like, you know what, that's a good idea. I'm going to do the same thing. Or you realized something in your own kit that was deficient, or something that, you saw something that triggered you. I'm going to do this, and maybe it's not what I showed here, but it's something that will help you be better prepared for the future. That's it, guys. I hope you're having a good day. I hope you're enjoying your weekend. I hope you're being productive with your time. And remember, guys, your path is out there. Go find it.